Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekend show on our very last day after coming back from Cyprus. We're into Sunday and nothing's changed except for the morning weather, which was a little bit drizzly on the, shall we say, this morning. Unexpected, because I was checking BBC weather and I was checking all, Alexa as well. No one mentioned any rain, but yeah, that's what we had first thing this morning. Anyway, hope when you were out and about today playing your summer leagues or playing tournaments or friendlies that you had a great day, and the referee who was in charge also had a great day. That's what it's all about. Going out and about, enjoying yourselves at grassroots football, isn't it? That's what we hope. Anyway, you're looking at social media, it doesn't seem to be too much animosity at grassroots football. Yes, there will be some incidents which we expect, don't we? But not as much as we've always had last year. And I keep emphasising this, that you can tell in grassroots football whether it's going good, bad, you don't see the good, the bad and the ugly side of things, don't you? And you can read into it, and people are always putting on messages, letting you know what's happened. I know there's two sides to every story, so you have to, but people on social media will pick out straight away. Someone puts something up, they believe that's the truth, and they'll hit back, and then the story starts unfolding, and you find out different things has gone on. Like if you go back, incidents not so long ago on social media, and it's all proven to be a little bit different than what it was first announced. And I think everyone knows where I'm coming from. Grassroots football, you start a rumour in grassroots football, dear me, by the time it's got to 100 people, there's been murder, there's been stabbings, there's been, you name it, everything's happened, and it's just, people exaggerate, and you don't want that, and unfortunately I suppose that's life, that really is life, and I'm very, very thirsty today. Obviously the room itself, our social room, as you say, is very warm indeed with the weather, but we're getting through it and we're enjoying it, and we're also enjoying the Euros, aren't we? I'm enjoying them, and I'll be watching Scotland a little bit later on, hoping that they can beat Hungary, fingers crossed, because I love those Scottish fans. I love the way they're singing their heads off and they're getting behind the team, and if they're losing, they're still getting behind the team, and it's amazing the way some parts of the country act, isn't it? Everyone supports, it's like club football, you've got to get around them, you've got to, I don't know, Liverpool fans, they'll always make up songs, they'll always, Arnie Slot, the new manager who's coming, I'm waiting for that one, but I love that Dutch one. I don't know what the words mean, where they're dancing side to side, and then and you've got something like 30,000 doing it, all in rhythm, and I think it's amazing. It's got to be the song and the tune of the year. And you know what? I believe that the Premier League themselves should put an award up for the best fans throughout the season, for the club, for the best songs. There should be, rather than you sitting there doing the doing the stats on how many times certain people touch the ball, how many runs they've done, time of the run, the speed, the goals, the headers, and rather than that, let's focus sometimes on the fans, the real people, the real supporters, the people who make the Premier League and professional football happen. Get behind them. Let's hear the new songs, let's see the chants, let's see the dancing and the support. And I just believe if the Premier League could put something up, something big, something massive, or all football's governing bodies join together, something massive for that club on behalf of the fans, I think that is the way to do it, rather than hoping that fans behave. Give them an incentive. And if there's a massive incentive there for football fans, then I think we could bring the likes of Don't Cross the Line into it, as supporting your local team, your team, and I just believe things like that should be part of, you know, football, like the Dutch did and the Scottish fans. I just love it, and I just believe, you know, fans can vote, you know, and I'm sure they'll be okay. Your home supporters will vote for themselves, we know that, but other fans, you know, if they're beaten, they're beaten. And if you come up with something that's glorious and really, really, maybe a little bit of humorous, and you know, the players are responding to it and they're loving it, that becomes their own, that becomes something to look forward to. And I believe if you do that, then you can take some of the violence, if you like, out of the game. And I'm just sure it could help, and the kids would get involved, everyone would get involved, and it would show that the football's governing bodies are respecting the fans, the supporters, the real people, as I say, the ones who keep these clubs and the Premier League and all football's governing bodies going with the money that they put drumming into it. So yeah, we always say let's give something back, and let's think of it, put your heads together like you do in grassroots football. You all sit there and tell everyone how the game should be played. Now, I once said that the FA don't own football, but are being proven wrong, because it's the likes of them now saying this is how you play the game, this is what you do, this is what we're doing, we're in control of how you control that ball. It really is, and which is sad, because I think football is football, throw-ins are throw-ins, corners are corners, free kicks are free kicks, and we're spoiling it, we're taking it out of the game in kids football, and this is what's the next thing that we're going to be doing. And I just don't know how this is going to pan out next year, because I'm sitting there for next year, well, with referees who even don't agree with it, managers who don't agree with it, and I know they've done trials over the country, but you ask these managers, these coaches, the people who matter as well, the ones who are responsible for the football teams, to go in there and you're telling them how the game should be played in your eyes, and this is what we're doing. And I just believe, and I think most of the managers and referees will believe, that it's going to cause more problems than what it's worth. I do. We're not discussing it in big deal at the moment. Sky Sports will get onto it after the Euros, no doubt, and this is what's going to happen. You see a lot of questions, a lot of people getting involved, and you know, when it's coming closer to the new season and how these leagues are going to, it's a law, this is what it is, the laws now of the game, and the referees unfortunately are there to control what happens on the pitch when you're dribbling the ball in from a throw-in, no throw-in now. So as I said yesterday, pointless now, any referee in kids football pulling the kids for a foul throw, because they're gone. They've got rid of them, so there should be no such thing as a foul throw now. They really shouldn't. If they come on the pitch, throw the ball, underarm it, whatever it is, let it go. Let it go. I'm just saying to these referees, what is the point when you're getting rid of these throw-ins in kids football? It just defeats the object to me. It really, really does. And I can't wait to get some debates going on over the next few weeks, getting managers in, coaches in, and talking about this. We really will highlight this, because I'm glad I've walked away from the game, you know, and I've got 2 referees now running the team that I run, and I can't, you know, they're brilliant, and that is what Don't Cross the Line is all about. You've actually got referees coaching a football team, and I'm going to be behind them 110%. And I just think, you know, all these managers, coaches who turn around and say, the referee, yeah, you stick to your job and we'll stick to ours. Well, the referees as well as coaches now. So you've got to respect them. You've got to look and say, wow, I really do appreciate it. The referee is more than a referee now, aren't they? You know, because they're getting involved in coaching. There's many referees out there who are coaching. But as I say, going back to the laws of the game now, and what is going to happen in grassroots football, because there's 2 different laws now, I suppose. You know what? There's one for the Premier League and one for grassroots. And I'd love to find out who made the decisions on how we do this. What's the background of the people? Do they play football? Have they played football? Or are they just sitting there as a group and saying, right, this is the way it's going to be now? I like that idea. I think that's brilliant. I'd like to find out how they came about what they're doing, because there's many coaches out there, even professional, ex-professional footballers, talking about this and saying it's wrong. So who has decided what we're doing? And I don't see any mention of a corner. What have the kids got to do on a corner? Dribble that in as well? I just don't see anything about a corner. I really don't. And it's going to create... I was watching games purposely yesterday for the heading of the ball and the actions of the kids and what the responsibilities are. And I was watching many kids, and they were, for some reason yesterday, they were all heading it. They were heading the ball, because if they didn't head the ball, it would have been a goal. Now, what I'm saying is they're going to basically duck. That's what you tell them to do, because it's an indirect free kick if they head the ball. So they're going to duck. The ball's going to go over their heads, and in comes the striker. One-on-one, sorts the ball home. And the kid, and I know there's these parents and spectators and even some coaches out there going to go, why don't you just stop it with your hands? Why don't you just jump up with your shoulder? And the kids are going to feel guilty. They really are, because of the goals created. And it's not going to be always the same for both sides, because certain situations in a game don't happen for both sides. And if you're going to hit the ball long over the heads and cause this, the kids can't do a thing about it. And then you're going to see overhead kicks, you're going to see high legs in the penalty area, let's say, in the penalty box. I just don't know. And yet the goalie can come out and thump. It's hard to picture it, really picture it yourselves and think about it. And I know there's many out there going, hang on, Mal, we're thinking about the kids' safety here. Well, is this not a contact sport, or is that disappearing as well? So when a kid goes in for the challenge and the tackle, are we thinking about the kids' safety then? What are we doing to grassroots football? I can't wait to get the managers in, have the debates, even referees, on what their thoughts are on it, and maybe some county FA officials, you know, because I know what happens when the governing bodies stipulate this is how it is, then your county FAs have got to back it to the T. They've got to say, yeah, well, it's right, we're thinking about the future. You don't know what I was saying yesterday about the 3G pitches, 4G pitches if you want, and I know it's the same thing with all the rubber. It's all reports coming out of America saying it causes cancer, these little rubber pieces, and you see the kids, they're building things out of them, they're throwing things, they're throwing it at their opposition or at the players, they're playing with the things, and yet, what do we hear off the governing bodies? It's not proven. Is dementia proven? Is it fact that it's causing these problems later on in life, heading the ball? Now, the people who came down, and don't get me wrong, if it is, I'll be the first one to say, wow. But until it's scientifically supported that it really is causing these problems, why have we changed it with the kids' football? It's just to be on the safe side. Well, let's get rid of the 3G pitches and the 4G pitches. Let's just be on the safe side. Let's all go back to grass. Let's bring the grass back in, because there was no problems except games getting cancelled due to health and safety reasons. It's too slippy, it's too muddy, it'll cause accidents, kids can't play on that. And yet, we're all accepting the 3G and the 4G pitches at the moment. These are my honest opinions, these are me. This is my opinion. I'm not stating what we're saying. I'm just looking at the game in general, in the bigger picture, and I'm just watching. As a spectator, I'm watching the kids play. Now, the leagues, and I do believe that someone has said to me, or wrote up and saying there was a lot of injuries. I was reading posts saying kids were getting kicked in the head and what have you, because the kids are they're getting told by coaches, you've got to go in, if the ball's shoulder height, go in with your foot. Yeah, that can be a free kick as well, but this is what's happening to stop goals going in, and I can see it. What is the football changing into? Come on, we want your thoughts. mal@don'ttexttheline.com. I'd love to have the debate, and I'd love, you know, what likes of a governing body to come in and explain the situation and why they think and what's happening, and put it to all, maybe managers, one or two managers. Let's have a debate in here, questions and answers. Let's get it going. Let's just find out your thoughts on what you think. Now, again, I've just said, yeah, health and safety, it's to protect the kids in the future. The balls are lighter, we all know that, to what they were many, many years ago, because I played with one and it was unreal. I headed that, it was like heading a house brick, it really was. And especially if the laces of the leather ball caught you, they were soaking wet. They were like, honestly, medicine balls. That's the way they were like when you were heading it. And some players, they put their whole weight behind the header, they didn't feel it, but the majority of us did. It was like, whoa, you felt a little bit dizzy after you headed the ball, or even kicked the ball, or if the ball hit you on the thigh. It was agony. Honestly, this is, yeah, I agree. Take those balls out, they were causing the problems. Bring in the lighter balls. Pitches, let's hear your thoughts. I think America, they still go on about these 3G pitches and the problems that they can cause playing on them. And I was watching a kid yesterday, and he slid in and scraped all the back of his leg on the 3G pitch. Now that's grass, there's a bit of mud on there, it's nice and soft. What are we doing? Protecting the kids, health and safety. We've got to look into every aspect of grassroots football if this is the case, and the dangers that lie on the 3G, the 4G and grass, and compare them. And heading the ball. Not many kids, there was a lot of headers in different games, not in one match. I was watching for yesterday, and I was watching the movements and what it could have caused. I was looking at the aftermath. If that child hadn't headed the ball, the kid was in on goal, and that happened several times throughout the day, watching the games. Now, I just don't know what it's going to bring on the sidelines, and how the child's going to feel by giving a goal away, by not doing something about it. And the only thing they can do about it is handballing. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to see a lot of wasted time now, because the kids are getting free kicks, and then you're going to see a lot of bookings. Is this the plan behind it? A lot of bookings that are sent in, and there's more fines going in because that child has got several bookings and being sent off for the second offence. You see where I'm coming from? This is what I'm looking at, the bigger picture in the game, something that's probably not being thought out. You know, you get the right people in there, you get the grassroots people in there to discuss these situations. The people who've been in grassroots football for 40, 50 years, watching, seeing the safety aspects, seeing the changes, seeing how the game pans out, watching the kids play, the movement of the ball, because they're so used to it. You just need the right people in, not someone sitting in an office chair, 3 or 4 of them, around cup of coffee, biscuits, tea, and say, what do you think it is? This could be great, this, you know, look, we're changing the game. We're changing the game, the football game. The kid's going to know throw-ins now, let's take that away. And let's start having the kid to dribble in, and the kid can score. And if he passes the ball and the other child scores, that's disallowed. You're making the game harder for referees as well. Anyone who's played football, anyone who's been involved in it, and the childhood, you couldn't take that away. You couldn't take that away from football. The throw-in's part and parcel of the game. To me, it's ruining the game. By the time those kids get to the age of 13, you've got to start all over again about throw-ins. You've got to start teaching them the basics. What are the academies doing? What will the academies do in this? How do they see it about bringing this in, and what it's going to do to them when throw-ins? Your thoughts, mal@don'ttexttheline.com, add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. Now, if you've been out and about at the Jeffrey Hummel today with the River Summer League, well done. Everything was hunky-dory, great, meeting the managers, meeting the organisers, talking to loads of kids and seeing them enjoying it, and there was loads of respect of the parents. So a big, massive well done to you all. Okay, we've come to the end of our show. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you get in touch with me. Let me know what your thoughts are about the kids and the heading of the ball coming in next season. I'd love to know. In the meantime, we'll be back on Friday with our young commentators. Put your feet up, relax, enjoy the Euros, and we'll see you very, very soon indeed. From myself, Maldane, and all the team here, the Grassroots Show. Don't cross the line, respect, no ref, no game, Heart of Gold initiatives, and have an evening of pleasure. Good night, God bless.